It's James in the Net News Ledger studio. I'm here with Councillor Larry Hebert from the City of Thunder Bay, but today you're kind of wearing the Common Voice Northwest Energy Task Force hat.
Yes, co-chair of that task force along with Councillor Ian Angus from the City of Thunder Bay and a great group of individual volunteers around Northwest Ontario who help us out from a technical standpoint. And so we've done a lot of work and a lot of lobbying, and it's starting to pay off, we think.
What's paid off? What's happening?
Well, the announcement this week by the government that they are looking at changing what was formerly basically a needs test or a business case for a extension of a transmission line. Now they're going to be able to approve it through cabinet and the Ontario government if this passes, and I think it will. They have majority, of course, but they're urging all parties to support this because it's going to be great for development in the north. Certainly, Dave Canfield, our president, has said in the past that the future of Ontario is in northern and rural Ontario, and we need the grid to be up there to help supply, whether it's a First Nation development in terms of a forest products company or a mine and partnering with First Nations. We need that power up there, and we need them for their communities as well. These communities were elsewhere in Ontario, they'd already have a grid there. So we've been pushing for about 6 or 7 years the idea that the transmission system is just like the highway system, like the railway system. The common good should prevail, all the ratepayers should pay for it, rather than having the first company in pay the shot and then having to get some money back from future companies that come in and further down the line. So I think it's going to be a great thing for Northwestern Ontario.
Power in the north. You know, the grid is often talked about and probably one of the least understood. So when you're sitting in your house in, say, Thunder Bay or Pickle Lake or Red Lake, and you turn on your light in your house, where does that power come from and how does it get there, Larry?
Well, Northwest Ontario actually right now has a surplus of power. It doesn't have a surplus in some of the right areas we need it, but in the Thunder Bay area, for example, there's a surplus. But there's about 1,400 megawatts of both mainly public but some private generation as well available. We're using probably at the most, even in the coldest day of winter now, about 800 megawatts in the region. That's down because a lot of forest companies are down. But that comes from mainly hydraulic, and it comes from the two former coal plants, now both on pellets, one the new form of pellets and the other the old soft white pellet, and basically some gas-fired generation, and that's basically the source of generation in Northwestern Ontario. So basically it can supply our needs and actually export some. And there's two basic backbone systems, the 115, which is the main backbone for Northwest Ontario, and also the 230, which is mainly used, 230,000 volts, which is mainly used for transfers from Manitoba to Ontario or vice versa, but it's mainly going from west to east.
When you get into the far north, then you're off the grid right now.
Yeah.
And it's diesel powered.
Yeah.
That's an expensive way to power a community for hydro.
It is. A friend of mine just told me a story because his other friend owns a helicopter company, and in an emergency situation last year, I think it was, they had to actually fly this 200 gallon, I think it was, bladders in by helicopter, and the helicopter cost was $10,000 an hour. And in one other instance I heard some costs for northern communities, and it was $2 a kilowatt for that power, where in the rest of Ontario we're probably paying somewhere around 10, 11, 12 cents overall with all the costs in.
So the issue is that the government is doing the right thing.
Yes.
And Common Voice Northwest and the task force and the city, of course, are supporting them and encouraging them to move faster on it.
Yes, because we need to get that grid up there to see the development of the resources. Obviously, it's got to be done in conjunction with the First Nations, but it's an opportunity for them to get power as well. They should not be using diesel in this day and age. They should be on the grid.
Larry, thank you very much for coming in,
Thanks,
sharing
James.
the story.
Thank you.